r/Ask Me Anything by Redmond E.T.S. I am a diagnosed functional psychopath. Ask me anything. Hey there. I'm a forensic clinical therapist that works with a lot of diagnosed psychopaths, more accurately confirmed by the PCLR. I have 4 questions. What was your first inclination that you didn't feel things or interact with others like your peers? Did you find yourself adopting a role or persona to better navigate social settings? Do you have close friends and do they know about your psychopathy? What is your line of work or what do you aspire to do career-wise? Interesting questions. I never felt like other people. When I was a child, I hated other children. They grossed me out, but I have learned to interact with them to further myself socially. Over time, I mastered social interactions and am quite popular. No one would ever know that I am an act. I had an inclination that I am a psychopath when I was 16 and my grandfather died. My whole family mourned as he was quite close to my siblings and mom, but I felt nothing. I told my mom I am sorry for your loss, and she responded it is your loss too. That's when I thought that maybe I don't feel things like others. Yes, as mentioned above. My social persona is that of a friendly, charming and inviting person. I have friends, go to work functions, and appeal to most people. But I never let anyone get close enough to see the mask come off. In reality, I hate socializing. It's a lot of work. I hate this world. I am disgusted by most people and wish I could live on an island alone. I have some friends, but they are kept at arm's length so I wouldn't consider them close. If they dropped off the earth tomorrow, I'd be fine with it. Nobody knows about my diagnosis. The stigma is too great and would negatively affect the social persona I worked hard to create. I am the finance manager for a credit union in my area. I went into it because I wanted to be rich, but I would prefer to be a forensic psychologist as I am fascinated with the criminally insane. It's interesting how close this is to my diagnosis of autism. Do you express empathy? Can you put yourself in the shoes of others and feel bad for their situation? Just to clarify, autistic people feel empathy differently. I don't feel bad that people die. I feel bad if they die due to some inherent unfairness within a human system. I have no empathy and have no way of putting myself into other people's shoes. We are similar in this regard. I also view suffering as a structural issue and don't internalize it. As far as I am aware of, it appears to be that the predisposition to psychopathy is to some degree heritable and that there is a set of high-risk genes that are associated with it. If I may ask, have you had any personal encounters with this theory, like relatives who exhibit stronger than usual psychopathic tendencies or otherwise violent or deviant behavior? Does your family have a prolonged history of engaging in or being exposed to violence? For instance, do you come from an ancestral line of executioners, soldiers, butchers or SMTH of that sort? Also, it is often said that these predispositions are activated by critical events early in life. Like for example traumatic experiences, abuse etc. If you are comfortable sharing, have you experienced anything comparable in your childhood? Yes, my father is a piece of it. Although he is undiagnosed, I am pretty sure that he also lives with antisocial personality disorder but with sadistic tendencies. He physically and emotionally abused my mom and his kids. He would go as far as to beat me to a bloody pulp when I so much as dropped a fork during dinner time. One time he tied me up in a doghouse overnight while it was storming outside after I stepped in to stop him from beating my sister. I have a lot of stories of what this creature has done to me. When I was around 10, he was arrested for financial fraud and served 12 years in prison. He is still around, but if I ever see his face, he should be very concerned. My mom has bipolar disorder and was unstable, but she did the best she could. As for a history of it in my family, I come from a long line of bankers and investors. What were you hoping to get out of this AMA? You mentioned wanting to live alone on an island, but you also sound lonely and unhappy with the fact no one will stay with you. And you want a family, which would mean you'd never be alone again. A lot of contradictions. I often experience these contradictions. What I think I want versus what I want are different, if you know what I mean. I idealize a marriage with children, a picket fence, and close friends that come for dinner once a week. But in reality, I would probably hate all of this. Not sure until I try. This cognitive dissonance is quite common among people with ASPD. Who I am in my head and what I tolerate in reality are contradicting. Why did I want to do an AMA? I wanted to unmask. I felt suffocated in my life and the performances I have to keep up. With this AMA, I am willing to spill the darkest parts of me that I have to hide in the real world. Since you would rather be left alone and you generally dislike or are disgusted other people, do you have any desire for intimacy, or is that gross as well? Are your parents aware of your diagnosis? Would you prefer to have empathy? Do you like the way you are? Do you feel superior or is this a liability? I find it gross when other people have sex, but I quite enjoy it when I do it. I have urges and desires, but I admit that I enjoy things on the more sadistic side of sex as opposed to having intimate, loving sex. Always with my partner's consent. I enjoy engaging in darker scenarios than most people. I haven't seen my father in a long time, so no. My mom knows. I like the way I am most of the time, but there are times when I struggle getting what I want because of my inability to empathize or feel deep emotions at all. For example, I struggle to build a family like I want because most women will see right through my mask quite quickly and I have little patience for other people, which prevents me from building meaningful connections. In short, no one wants to be with me for long. Do I feel superior? Mostly yes. I don't care what people think of me as long as I get what I want. I feel like this makes my life easier because other people stress and worry about saying or doing the wrong thing. I don't. If I fuck up, I just try again the next day. Thank you for answering my questions. One more, if I may. Why do you want to build a family? Do you think you could handle the needs and messes of babies, or the challenges of raising children? Do you think you could meet their needs? I'm not saying you can't. People can compartmentalize. I'm just curious. I want a family because A, it is a part of life and I want to experience everything. B, I want to be a better father than my father. C, I like the idea of it. And D, it helps me fit in. I don't think anyone can handle the messes and challenges of raising children. That's why parents are always so miserable. I think I can give my children a good life. What do people get wrong about what psychopathy actually is? I feel like the term is thrown around a bit too generously. Most people think that psychopaths walk around planning their next murder. This is just not true. Most psychopaths are non-violent. There is only a small subset that commits violent crimes. Most of us just want to live normal lives as best as we can. We want to be happy, but that is rather hard for us. The word is thrown around just like narcissism. These are clinical conditions that seriously negatively affect our quality of life. Not being able to feel empathy makes it incredibly hard to connect with people even if we want to. Should we be afraid of psychopaths? Sometimes. In truth, many of us are not who we appear to be, but that definitely doesn't mean we always pose a physical threat to you. In other words, you shouldn't be afraid of psychopaths, but you should be cautious whenever you meet someone new. If you know for a fact a person is a diagnosed psychopath, I would exercise a degree of caution until you understand their intention. This has to be one of the most interesting AMAs I've read. I appreciate your honest and articulate responses. My question is, can you sense when people around you are seeing through your mask? If that happens? I'm asking under the assumption that at some point of time in your life someone has sensed or picked up on your nature. If that has happened, what is your reaction to it? Yes, I am very observant and pick up on the most minute expressions that could suggest that the person is seeing through the mask. It is rare, but when it does happen, I perceive the person as a threat. My first course of action would be to win them over. I would go above and beyond to make them love me. I will fabricate an entirely new identity custom made for them, whatever it takes. I'm quite persistent. I have done this a few times and usually they end up finding me amazing. I even buy their kids gifts and let their family use my vacation home. In the rare times that this doesn't work and the person grows more suspicious, I have to resort to gaslighting and manipulation to make them doubt themselves. Do you know what it feels like to love someone deeply? That's a hard one to answer. The short answer is no. I love in my own way, but I don't think I experience it deeply like other people. To me, love is more like a mutually beneficial connection where we both get something out of it. I am protective of people and things I love, but the depth that other people experience when in love is just not there. What are your personal relationships like? Exhausting and disingenuous. I don't have many true personal relationships, only performances that people believe. Have you ever been in a long-term relationship or able to sustain that? Has there been anyone in your life you've been able to feel things for? I was in a 2-year relationship with a woman who I loved in my own way. She left me because she felt like I wasn't letting her in. She couldn't understand that there was nothing to let her into. I am just a shell. Would you consider yourself a bad person? Not really, no. I don't go out of my way to be bad, but I have done things that could be considered bad, but who hasn't? Care to expand? You mentioned in another comment that this forum will let you spill the deepest and darkest parts of you. So I'm curious if you're willing to get into specific dark behaviors you have exhibited. As promised, I can be ruthless when it comes to getting what I want, especially as it relates to my work. I will manipulate, bribe, threaten, and lie to get ahead of my competitors at work. That is the worst side of me. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.